All right, so are you ready to talk about Rome?
Always.
Me too,
Eh.
especially with this Love to Visit Italy newsletter.
Oh, this looks fun.
Yeah, it does. It really does. So we're diving deep into Rome today. For anyone listening who is planning a trip,
Excellent.
and specifically, I think we should focus on the Spanish Steps because there's a lot in this newsletter about that.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about them? They weren't always, this elegant landmark that we picture in our minds.
Uh-huh.
No, it was actually a pretty steep, muddy slope leading from the Piazza di Spagna up to Pincio Hill.
Not quite so glamorous.
No, not quite so glamorous. In the 18th century, this was not the picture postcard scene.
So what changed?
Well, Francesco de Sanctis, an architect,
Okay,
he, between 1723 and 1726, he transformed that uneven slope into the cascading staircase
I see.
that we all know and love today. And they were specifically designed to connect that hill to the piazza below.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So for our listener, this is more than just a quick photo op. Right. You want to experience the steps.
Spend some time.
Spend some time there, really take it all in. Now, speaking of which, at the base of the steps is a fountain.
Yes, the Fontana della Barcaccia.
Okay.
Hmm.
Tell me about it.
It's a beautiful early Baroque fountain,
Ooh.
and it's shaped like a half-sunken boat.
Oh, wow. I love that.
If you look closely, you can really see the Baroque style in that fountain, that dynamism,
Yeah.
that theatricality, the way the water just flows
Yeah.
and moves so dramatically.
Yeah. It's a whole different vibe than, say, like a Renaissance fountain.
Exactly.
Now, while we're in the neighborhood, so to speak, this newsletter has a top 10 places to visit in all of Italy.
Oh, cool.
Let's focus on the Rome ones for our listeners' benefit.
Sure.
So obviously the Spanish Steps,
Free there.
we got that covered.
Check.
But they also mentioned the Trevi Fountain.
Of course, the Trevi Fountain. It's not just a beautiful fountain. It's also, a piece of cinema history. You can't forget that iconic scene from La Dolce Vita with Anita Ekberg
Oh, yeah. That's a class.
wading into the fountain. Pure movie magic.
I love it. It's great.
What else is on their list?
Well, they also mentioned the Jewish ghetto and Tiber Island.
Oh, okay. Now, those are a little bit more off the beaten path.
They are, but they offer a really unique perspective on the city.
Tell me more.
The Jewish ghetto is one of the oldest in the world. It dates back to the 16th century. You can really feel the layers of history there.
I see.
And then Tiber Island, right there in the middle of the Tiber River.
Yeah.
Just
Sure.
imagine this island with its own stories and views right in the heart of Rome.
Oh, I like that.
It's very cool.
Now, this newsletter, it gives us some good advice.
Okay.
It says that 2024 is going to be a busy year for tourism, so we got to book early.
Smart thinking.
Yeah. Is that like full-on panic mode or just, a little nudge?
I wouldn't say panic mode, but it is a good reminder that some things do sell out,
Yeah, that makes sense.
especially the popular tours and experiences. For instance, they highlighted this Discover Authentic Roman Flavors experience.
Yeah. And it's a food tour, basically, that takes you through different markets and eateries.
I like where this is going.
Yeah. It's all about traditional Roman cuisine, the fresh pastas, the cheeses, the regional wines.
Oh, yeah.
The idea is to really immerse yourself
Yeah.
in the local food scene.
Now, me personally, I'm more of a pizza and gelato kind of person,
I mean, who isn't?
but maybe this could convert me.
Possibly.
But it sounds like a good way to experience the city through its food.
It really is. And that's what I think is so valuable about these curated experiences. You're not just eating. You're learning about the history, the ingredients, the traditions.
Yeah.
It's a whole other level of engagement.
It's like what we were talking about with the Spanish Steps. It's not just about looking at it.
Yeah,
It's about understanding it.
you got it.
Right. Like you said, feeling that history.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of getting transported,
Yeah.
this newsletter has some other fun things. They have a travel trivia game.
Oh, fun.
I know, right up our alley.
I love trivia.
Me too.
What kind of questions do they have?
Well, they gave an example, something about Collimore Abbey. I don't want to spoil it,
Well, don't spoil it.
but it's definitely got me thinking.
Oh, good.
And they said they would reveal the answer in the next newsletter.
Okay, well, I'm hooked.
So anyone listening who loves travel and trivia like us,
Yes.
subscribe to this Love to Visit Italy newsletter.
It's a must.
It's a must. We'll find out the answer to that trivia question in part 2 of this deep dive.
Can't wait.
But for now, we've got more to talk about with Rome.
And let's not forget about booking those experiences for 2024.
Right. They really emphasize that. I was looking at the section on popular tours, and they mentioned a Vespa sidecar tour.
Oh, yeah.
Did they bury the lead on that or what?
It does sound incredible.
Zipping through the streets of Rome in a vintage Vespa?
Wind in your hair.
Hold on. Vespa sidecar tour? I mean, I'm picturing myself cruising past the Colosseum with a gelato.
Okay. Maybe not with the gelato while you're driving.
But you get the picture.
Definitely captures that Roman adventure vibe.
I love it.
And speaking of those iconic Roman experiences, they also highlighted a food tour
Yes.
that focuses on authentic Roman flavors.
Okay, now you're talking. Pasta pizza, all those amazing little fried artichoke things they have.
The Carciofi.
The carfiofi. I mean, food is like such a big part of experiencing any new culture.
It really is.
And this newsletter, they really emphasize the immersive nature of these food tours. Like they use the phrase, taste like a true local.
I love that.
I do too. It's not just about checking things off a list.
Right.
You're really savoring the culture.
Exactly. And when you're talking about a city as historically and culturally rich as Rome,
Yeah.
that kind of immersive experience can be really transformative.
Okay, so we talk about planning ahead,
Uh-huh.
booking those tours.
Yeah.
But what about the spontaneous traveler?
Oh, there's plenty for them, too.
Is there still hope for them?
Of course, Rome is a city that rewards both the planner and the free spirit.
I like that.
So while some things might require booking in advance, there's also a ton of stuff you can just discover on the fly.
Okay, like what? Give me some examples, because I'm all about those unplanned moments.
Well, remember those hidden gems we talked about earlier? The
Yeah.
Jewish ghetto,
Yeah.
Tiber Island?
Yeah.
Those are perfect for just wandering
I love it.
and exploring at your own pace. The Jewish ghetto, with all its history, it's like stepping back in time.
Yeah?
And Tiber Island, right in the middle of the river,
Yeah.
offers this completely unique perspective.
I love it.
You can also just stumble upon these amazing little cafes and trattorias
Oh, yeah.
and shops tucked away on these side streets.
Okay, that's reassuring, because I was starting to feel the pressure
No.
to plan every second.
Even if you plan in advance,
Yeah.
you should always leave some room for spontaneity.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to find.
Exactly. You might stumble upon a local festival, a hidden courtyard, or even just a friendly Roman
Oh, I love that.
who wants to share their favorite spots.
I love that.
You never know.
You know what I really appreciate about this newsletter?
What's that?
It strikes that balance
Yeah.
between giving you those key recommendations,
Yeah.
but also encouraging that exploration.
Absolutely.
Discover your own personal Rome.
It's like having a friend who knows the city
Right.
giving you those insider tips.
But also like saying, hey, go get lost, have fun.
Exactly.
I love that.
So now,
Yeah.
in addition to all that practical stuff,
Yeah.
they also have that fun side.
You knew the trivia game?
Yes, the trivia game.
Did they ever answer that Kylemore Abbey question?
They did. It turns out Kylemore Abbey is actually in Ireland.
What?
Yeah, in the Connemara region.
Wow. See, even when we're talking about Italy,
I know.
the travel bug takes us elsewhere.
It does.
It really does. This newsletter does not help.
It does not.
They had some amazing photos of Lake Como,
Oh, beautiful.
crystal clear waters,
Yeah.
those dramatic landscapes.
Yeah.
I mean, who isn't ready to book a flight right now?
Seriously.
And speaking of Lake Como, it is in northern Italy, which is known for that stunning scenery.
Yes. So this newsletter gives you a taste of Italy beyond Rome.
Yeah,
It sparks your curiosity,
it does.
encourages you to explore further.
Speaking of exploring further, let's dive into the final part of this deep dive
Okay.
and see what other Roman treasures we can uncover. Okay, so we're back. Final leg of our Roman adventure. And I got to say, this newsletter has been amazing. Really opened my eyes to Rome.
Yeah. Rome's one of those cities that it reveals itself in layers.
I like that.
You have those iconic landmarks, of course, but then these hidden pockets of history, these charming little neighborhoods.
Right, and this newsletter really encourages you to explore all those different facets.
It does.
For example, they highlighted this restaurant called Angie's,
Oh, yeah.
tucked away near Piazza di Spagna.
I've heard of that place.
Have you been?
I haven't, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, they describe it as having this charming old world ambiance.
Oh, I bet.
You can just picture yourself like savoring a delicious meal.
Surrounded by history.
Right. It's about creating an experience,
Yes.
not just checking things off a list.
I love that.
Me too.
Huh.
It's like the difference between reading a travel brochure and actually living the story.
So true.
Speaking of stories, this newsletter also had a section on Turin,
Oh, Turin.
which I haven't really explored much.
Yeah. Turin is often overlooked, but it has such a rich history and culture.
Yeah. What did they say about it?
Well, they highlighted the architecture,
Okay.
the connection to the Italian royal family,
Oh, wow.
even its role in the development of the Fiat automobile.
That's interesting.
It is. It's a good reminder that Italy has all these diverse regions, each with their own unique character.
Okay. Turin is on my list now, officially.
Good.
Now, before we wrap up this Roman deep dive,
Yes.
let's go back to that travel trivia game
Do trivia
from the
ish.
newsletter.
Oh,
We were
man.
left hanging with that Kylemore Abbey question.
Right.
What was the answer?
Well, turns out Kylemore Abbey is actually in Ireland.
No way.
Yeah. In the Connemara region.
Wow. See, even when we're talking about Italy,
I know.
we end up somewhere else.
The travel bug is strong.
It is. But let's stay focused on Rome for now.
Okay.
I think it's safe to say Rome has something for everyone.
I agree.
History buffs, art lovers, foodies.
Definitely.
A good itinerary is key,
Yes.
but like we've been saying, you also got to embrace the spontaneity.
Let yourself get lost.
Yes, get lost in the magic of Rome.
That's the best way to do it.
And this newsletter has given us so many ideas and inspiration to get started.
It really has.
So listener, if you are planning a trip to Rome, or even just dreaming about Italy,
Yes.
do yourself a favor and subscribe to this Love to Visit Italy newsletter.
It's free
It's free.
and packed with useful tips.
Straight to your inbox.
Think of it as your personal travel guide,
Yes.
giving you those insider tips and curated experiences.
Okay, so imagine you're in Rome. You spent the day exploring,
Yes.
and now you're standing at the top of the Spanish Steps,
Beautiful.
looking out at the city.
And just imagine those steps have seen centuries of history.
I know.
Countless footsteps, countless stories.
Oh,
What will your story be?
what a beautiful thought.
I love that.
So until next time,
Yes.
keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep diving deep into the world around you.
Ciao.
Ciao.